Good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Welcome to a brunch episode to start the week, Monday.
Oo. Ongoing ngayon yung Peace Rally.
Nag-start na ba?
Oo, marami naman nagpupuntahan doon ngayon. So,
Ang
ewan
Peace
ko lang
Rally-
yung activities sila kung nag-start
Ang
na.
Peace Rally daw is
Impeachment.
anti-impeachment
Pro-unity.
pro-Marcos daw. So medyo napakamot ako ng ulo ng anti-impeachment pro-Marcos.
So, there are classes that are suspended in the area,
Yes.
pati government work sa may Manila.
Manila,
Sa
Pasay, and Quezon City
Pati
have
Quezon
suspended.
City,
Yes,
no?
Quezon City have suspended classes in some workplaces. Pero we'll talk about that more as we go along right now.
We have, ano ba tawag
A
doon?
long hotdog.
Hotdog sandwich.
Oo.
Yan ang brunch namin today.
And of course,
Kayo,
yung,
anong brunch?
yung coffee halfway finished
Ako hot
already.
water for my voice. Baka
For your voice?
Voice.
Akala ko for your voice. Sabi ko, saan ang voice mo dyan?
Para kailangan maganda yung voice natin.
Ay,
Ano
nako.
naman.
Sige. Madami pa tayong pag-uusapan. We're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is brunch. Starting our countdown with the ongoing wildfires in LA. The death toll from the wildfires in Los Angeles, California has climbed to 16. According to authorities, 5 of the deaths were attributed to the Palisades fire and 11 resulted from the Eaton fire. The figure is expected to rise as teams, accompanied by cadaver dogs, conduct systematic grid searches through the devastated neighborhoods. Meanwhile, over 150,000 residents in Los Angeles County are under evacuation orders.
President Bongbong Marcos extended his sympathies to the victims of the devastating wildfires in Southern California, USA. In a statement, Marcos expressed hope for the affected communities to recover through strength, compassion, and solidarity. Southern California is home to approximately 2 million Filipinos. Yan,
So,
kaya sabi nga
16 na ha,
Yeah, 16.
yung ano.
Kaya sinasabi
death
'di ba
toll.
yung in-interview nila isang I think it is the deputy director ng fire ng Southern California. Parang perfect storm ang nangyari niyan na all the conditions went into play to make it a very difficult enemy yung fire daw.
Yeah.
You had the wind, you have strong wind,
Santa Ana winds, they call it
yeah,
the
the Santa Ana winds, you have the strong winds. Number 2, you had very dry lands, 'di ba? And then you couple with that with a tinder daw or something that's a catalyst. You have the perfect fire. They had the video nga sa backyard ng isang lalaki kung saan nagsimula. And then parang nung in-inspect ng firemen, you could hear daw the dialogue sinasabi. Oh no, this could get terrible in about 20 minutes or so, nakita nila. Oo.
Kasi ang init din ng panahon dun eh. Very dry yung mga leaves.
Yun, no,
diba?
speaking of dry, yun ang sinasabi nila na ng ibang law officers na if the people managing the area dinampen nila yung daily yung grounds ng Palisades saka yung yung areas surrounding it kung saan talagang malala ang sunog, talagang hinose down na lang muna every day. Hindi siya it won't be that bad. Tignan nyo ha.
Kasi
yung mga-
we've seen some reports na ibang mga residents na before sila nag-evacuate or na-evacuate nila yung pamilya nila, may naiwan na isa na member
Yun ang
of the
sasabihin ko
family.
sana. The houses that were saved, hindi to biro, all the houses that were saved, may katabi siyang sunog lahat. Pero may mga houses na natitira, ginagawa ng owners, binasa yung perimeter.
Oo.
Binasa yung
Oh,
bubong.
parang overnight daw sila
Sa
nagbabasa,
bubong.
walang tulugan.
Bubong
eh.
tsaka sa
sides.
tsaka grass sa sides.
Oo.
Bakit bubong? Kasi yung ember wind galing sa taas yun eh. So yung fire nagsisimula sa bubong. Tapos meron din yung gapang sa baba. So yung mga ibang owners nagtsaga lang ibasa. Hindi siya umabot yung fire. Pero yung katabing-katabing bahay, sunog na sunog. So yun ang sinasabi nila na it could have been lessened yung devastation if yung land was not so dry.
Sinasabi nga nila, gano'n ba kalawak itong area na to, itong Palisades na to? Isipin
Palisades?
Mo, Palisades, sorry. Yung LA downtown, twice nun. Yun daw kalawak
Oo,
itong
yeah.
Palisades.
The Pacific Palisades kasi is a rich area. I think that's where, correct me if I'm wrong, no? That's where Kobe Bryant's helicopter crashed near the Pacific Palisades area.
And then
It's a mountainous region that was never
hillside siya, hindi kasi siya isang lawak na
mountain and valleys.
Yes.
But several people were saying kasi you should have never built a community in that area because it's not really, the conditions are not favorable to be inhabited.
Pero sabi nila, the whole side naman nung Palisades yan, hindi naman daw yun lahat residential. So yun nga, may hillside siya, may commercial, may ano. Pero kaya ang lawak ng damage din. If you can see the satellite, di ba, pinakita nila yung before and after, puro green and ano, nung nasusunog na talagang orange, pula na lang nakikita nila through the satellite.
Yes, and a lot of California kasi and LA is not naturally formed. May mga parts ng LA kasi na reclaimed area. Kasi maliit, makipot yung area ng California. So pinalawak nila ng pinalawak yung California. And some parts where they built communities are not really made to be lived on. Because the weather is really, the weather is really could be extremely cold or extremely hot. And since October pa pala sa Southern California, ang huling ranas nila ng ulan. So could you imagine how dry the land is? October of last year ang huling
And
ulan.
it's really heartbreaking to see, nakikita mo doon sa ibang mga reports na pinapakita nila na parang kunyari, ito yung fire dito sa side na to and then this side wala pa pero malapit na. And then you'll see yung mga nakatira doon, talaga nagtutulong-tulong sila na maapula yung apoy sa gilid para hindi kumalat. And even lahat na nang makita nilang pwedeng ibuhos na tubig doon na nasa kaldero,
Tsaka yung-
hino-hose down nila.
Yung firemen who are trying to save houses, nahirapan sila because wala, yung water pressure bumagsak. Because sabay...
Yung mga fire hydrants daw, walang water, yung iba.
Oo, because sabay-sabay kasi yung mga firemen gumagamit ng hydrants. So, nung sabay-sabay sila gumagamit, syempre, parang you're drinking, you have 10 straws in one glass, sabay-sabay kayo iinom, mas mabilis mauubos. Pero ang sabi kasi ng ibang residents, if you put 10,000 fire hydrants, that means 10,000 fire hydrants were meant to be used.
Oo.
So, bakit wala kang capacity
Yung iba,
to provide for 10,000?
Oo, parang hindi ang tawag doon, anong word na yun, hindi akma
Yung supply.
number of fire hydrants doon sa mga
guess,
residential areas
sabi nga
doon,
nila,
sa mga buildings.
Nobody really expected a fire of this magnitude to happen. Kaya nga sabi nga ng Deputy Director ng Fire ng SoCal o Southern California, this was the perfect storm, kumbaga.
Grabe.
I know, well, our prayers go out to...
We continue to pray for them.
Yeah.
Of course, there are massive donation campaign na nangyayari ngayon. Talagang bayanihan din sila doon, yung mga donation
The people
drive.
of Altadena,
Yung iba
Pacific
nagluluto,
Palisades.
nagdadala ng pagkain para mismo sa mga firefighters to help them as well doon sa area. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Now, next in our countdown, this year's Sinulog Festival is in Cebu City is now underway. At least 18 contingents took part in Sinulog sa Kabataan on Sunday. They competed for the city's annual street dance competition. The Grand Sinulog Parade and Ritual Showdown is scheduled on January 19. Yan,
Uy,
naman ang
mga
annual na iniintay naman.
Ito na
sa
yung mga
Sinulog. Never ba ako nakapunta sa Sinulog?
Yan ang inaabangan ng lahat sunod-sunod na festival. Ako rin, I haven't been to any of the
diba?
festivals. Yung Sinulog, Panagbanga, di ba?
Panagbanga, sa Baguio
Panagbanga,
naman.
Baguio, all these festivals.
Maskara sa sa
Kasi tapos na tayo sa
Bacolod.
Christmas, sa New Year, Traslasyon. Ito na yung mga festival, sunod-sunod.
Festivals
Ano yung sa Cebu, yung ba yung Sinulog?
Yes, Sinulog yun.
Yan,
Maskara sa Bacolod.
Maskara sa Bacolod.
Ano nga yun sa Quezon?
Moriones ba? Ano yung Moriones?
Sa ano yung sa Antipolo ata yun eh.
Yung Moriones
Oo,
Festival?
yung
Oh.
mga higante na ano. Tama
Oh,
ba?
hindi ko alam. Basta yung
Higante sa-
Moriones kasi festival, yung sineselebrate nila, yung ano, di ba, yung Roman soldier na nabulag. Yung
hindi
tinusok
ko
niya si Jesus,
Hindi
tapos natuluan siya ng blood ni Jesus na nabulag yung soldier. Tapos ginawang festival. Sikat yun, Moriones.
Oh yeah, pero I don't know where. Pero,
Ako rin eh, hindi ko maano. Anyway, sorry matanda na kasi ako, mag-research ako mamaya.
Oo, sige.
Pero yun ang mga inaabangan natin, madaming festival. Ito, Sinulog in Cebu is underway. Tapos sinabi nga nila, wala nang signal jammer. They're hoping na madaming content creators that will either video or stream live para maikalat daw yung beauty nitong festival na very colorful, full of dance,
Yes.
food, 'di ba, camaraderie. May competition kasi yan eh. 'Di ba,
sa
naglalaban-laban. Marinduque
yung
Moriones.
Moriones.
Oh, may sa Sinulog kasi 'di ba may competition yung mga grupo eh, pagandahan ng sayaw
Yes,
at costume.
of course, yung mga
Oh.
bata kasali
Mga bata,
din dyan.
oo.
Alright,
Alright.
let's continue with our countdown.
Moving on to our 8th spot, the National Council on Disability Affairs, or NCDA, is planning to implement a unified identification system for persons with disabilities. NCDA Executive Director Glenda Relova said that the Unified ID system aims to prevent the sale of PWD IDs to individuals who do not really have disabilities. This initiative is part of efforts to uphold Republic Act 10754, which expands benefits and privileges for PWDs such as discounts, VAT exemptions, educational assistance, and express lanes. The NCDA has also urged the public to report individuals or groups facilitating the illegal sale and use of PWD IDs.
Oo, grabe daw. Can you imagine, the government, sabi nila, ang gobyerno natin ay nawawalan ng 88.2 billion
Through
in
fraudulent or
taxes
fake
dahil dun
ID.
sa mga fake IDs, fake PWD IDs.
Minsan pa may makita ka online, inayabang nila na may fake ID siya.
Oo,
Walang
dahil
disab- Mahiya naman kayo, di ba? I mean, yung mga tunay na nararapat sa parking space sa'yo, yung pila na inagawan nyo,
Yes.
o yung discount
Saka ito yung
na
discount kasi, 20% yan para dun sa mga legit na PWD.
Oo, gamot sa restaurant.
and other services na ginagamit ng mga iba, 'di ba, na wala naman talaga silang disability. So
Binili kasi yung ano-
yung para dapat sa PWD na nakukuhanan ng mga fakers.
Oo. Parang nagka-categorize pa, kakaroon pa sila ng fake na sakit na using fake medical certificate. Some of them kasi fake yung ID, some naman totoo yung ID pero kinuha via fraudulent means kasi nagpresenta ng fake na medical certificate para lang masabi na qualified siya to have an ID.
Totoo.
So, either
Minsan
or...
kasi meron din 'di ba?
Nakakahiya.
May mga reports din na hindi rin ganun kaayos yung pagbibigay ng PWD ID sa mga local government. Kaya ngayon yung unified,
Yung unified, yeah.
oo, meron na yan RFID para kapag chinek mo yung QR code, didiretso yun dun sa database ng talagang merong mga, yung legit na database
Because,
ng mga
oo.
PWD
Pero ang issue
members.
magiging issue kasi dito, ang NCDA, they have their own databases Pero ang mga LGU, may sarili din silang database ng mga LGUs, mga disabled sa area nila.
Yes.
Ang problema daw, sometimes...
That's why it's going to be unified.
Sabi ni Ma'am Glenda, noon, hindi daw nagkakabangga yung list
Yes.
nila. So, they have to reconcile yung list to... i-clean out nila. Sino ba talaga, i-check natin, sino ba talaga ang may disability sa area per LGU.
That's why, maganda na itong Unified PWD ID plus yung itsura. 'Di ba? It's going to be one look na lang, one template na lang yan. Kasi tulad ng sinasabi mo, per LGU, iba-iba yan Iba-iba yung interface nila, iba-iba yung itsura per LGU. So ngayon, ang gagawin nila dito, balak nga nila, yung unified, iisa na lang yung magiging itsura ng PWD ID.
Pero ano kaya yung plano nila noon na everything should be on the national ID?
Hindi ko yun alam.
Di ba dapat noon lahat ng data, kung may PWD, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, lahat nasa PWD. Kaya pag skinan mo yung ID, di ba may QR kasi yung national
Nandun
ID?
na yung SSS mo,
Lahat.
nandun na yung
So,
lahat ng
di ba they were
data.
talking about that before na kung paano.
Pwede din isama tong PWD.
Oo, di ba? So, hindi ko
Pero
alam.
ito muna siguro yung nakikita nila na para mas makita nila yung ang tawag dito, ma-monitor nila yung mga fake IDs. Kasi right now, when we guested si Ma'am Glenda ng
NCDA,
nabanggit din niya sa atin noon na may mga online na nagbebenta 500 na fake IDs.
Grabe naman kayo.
Sa mga
Oo,
marketplace daw sa Facebook, nagbebenta ng mga ganon. So, parang what? Makakuha kayo ng 20% discount dahil gusto niyo magkaroon kayo ng disability.
Hindi mo kayo deserving.
Oo.
Ay, nako.
So, ngayon, ang gusto nila is, hopefully talaga, yung listahan will be monitored and administered by the National Council on Disability Affairs. Kasi, as we speak, alam ko, under DOH yan
Yeah, under
so,
DOH.
sa dami na ginagawa ng DOH, maganda. Total, meron ka namang ahensya na to na nakafocus at alam nila kung saang lugar. Tapos, per LGU, meron kang meron kang
May list yan.
PIDAW yung Persons with Disability Affairs Office. Yan yung nangangalaga, sila yung nakakaalam within their area kung sino talaga yung mga legit na may disability.
Problema lang, sino yung mga na-make ng medical certificate? Yan din ang sasalain natin.
Tsaka yung pagkuha talaga, ayusin.
Yeah.
Oo. Alright, let's continue. Coming up. Filipinos may have to pay at least 18% more for hospitalization this year. Bakit kaya?
And the Iglesia ni Cristo is set to hold its nationwide peace rally today. We'll give you live updates later in the program.
We're just getting started. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Monday po sa ating
Happy
mga
Monday.
brunchies.
Okay, let's get right to our greetings. Dito sa Facebook page natin, we have Ralph Domingo. Happy sweater weather, Brunch Monday.
Malamig nga ngayon.
Si
Sa uulan
Ralph.
nga daw eh.
Ako. Ito si Sam Pokemon Go daw. Good morning. Try daw citron tea. Maganda daw sa throat. Si Migs ulit. Hello po mga brunchies. Hello Migs. Hello Sam, Ralph. Si VJ, and of course, the rest of the
Si Ate
tropang,
Ringo.
si Ringo, si tropang brunch.
Oo. Dito naman sa YouTube, of course, we have Ronald Maxtay, si Tita Daisy Cancio, of course, Ate Mirna Almaria from Pasig Green Park, and Tito Naldi and Kuya Jopet from Antipolo. Mga nanonood din sila sa atin today. Leonie Valdesoto, good morning din sa'yo. Si Reyes Amador. Tama siya, sabi niya Marinduque yung Moriones.
Marinduque,
Sinabi. Hindi ko kaagad nakita yung message
Minsan nga ilista natin kung alam natin.
Yes.
Challenge, lahat ng festival na meron.
Tapos yung Quezon na sinasabi ko, Pahiyas. Yon, that's what I was trying to remember. Yan. Saka si Rodrigo Guanlao. Good morning. Si Ate Mina Benales and the rest of our Jesse Mendez family nanonood din sa atin. And Tita Esther Abaya nanonood din si Mother Earth.
Mother
Diba?
Earth.
Mama,
Hello,
hi,
hello,
good
hello.
morning. Okay, let's continue with our countdown. Now on our top 7, Filipinos may have to pay at least 18% more for hospitalization this year. That's according to their Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines Incorporated, or PHAPI. PHAPI President Dr. Jose Rene de Grano said this is due to the rising costs of medical supplies. He explained that private hospitals would have no choice but to charge higher fees to keep operations stable. De Grano, though, noted that there will be no increase if the government will be able to control the prices.
May pag-asa pa naman pala.
Oo. Hindi kasi alam mo, pagdating
If
kasi
the
sa
government-
mga private hospitals, wala namang subsidy yan mula
Wala.
sa gobyerno, unlike ng mga government hospitals. So,
Oh,
lahat ng operational expenses
Sa kanila. It's a
ng,
business eh.
ng hospital, sa kanila. So, kung kaya nga sinasabi nila, ngayon billions yung pinag-uusapan since pandemic na hindi nakakabayad yung PhilHealth sa kanila. So, yung ibang malalaking ospital, kaya nilang i-sustain, kaya nilang mag-survive nang hindi sila nababayaran kahit papano, at kahit papano kakagapang sila, nakaka-survive, no? That's the word. Pero pag yung mga small hospitals hindi bayaran agad ng ng PhilHealth, yan, marami sa mga small hospitals ang magsasara because yung operational expenses nila di nila mababawi.
Usually, yung mga nagsusurvive, yung mga hospitals, yung alam mo yung malalaki yan, yung Makati Med, St. Luke's. Because these have multiple beds and may multiple branches, di ba? Pero yung mga 20-room hospitals, 30-room hospitals,
Mahirap
na private
for them.
hospitals, di ba? Specialty hospitals na
Yes.
hindi government-owned, medyo mahirap, especially if isipin mo, kung in one day may 100 to 300 pag small hospital ka, na patients a day ka, di sabihin mo lahat kayo gumagamit ng swero.
Oo.
'Di ba? Pero yung biglang tataas ang presyo ng swero, hindi mo mamataas masyado yung dahil if you jack up your prices, hindi ka makaka-compete with the
Totoo.
other hospitals.
Plus, you have to remember ang pagdating sa medical na industry, talagang may mga upgrade ng mga ng
Mabilis
mga
yan.
equipment nila.
Mabilis yung upgrade
Medical
din yan.
equipment upgrade nila lagi. Kasi syempre, kailangan natin kapag dating sa pag-uusapan yung buhay natin dito, 'di ba, dapat maayos.
Saka hindi lang equipment ang in-upgrade,
up-to-date,
pati yung skill set
services,
yung skill
diba?
set ng mga doctors and
Oo.
nurses. Because pag nag-upgrade ka ng gamit, kailangan i-upgrade mo din yung tao paano gamitin yung gamit.
Yes,
Oo.
and of course, meron din mga, mga sweldo. Siyempre, as much as possible, gustong makipag-compete ng, lalo na ito, mga private hospitals. Kasi pag hindi mo bigyan ng tamang sweldo yung mga doctors
Yes,
and nurses
oo.
and other staff there, mapipilitan itong mga to na mag-abroad eh.
Ang dami-
Ganun pa man, ngayon pa lang, di ba? Talagang marami
Ang dami
na
ng doctors
nag-a-abroad.
na nag-abroad para mag-caregiver.
Oo.
Madami
Kasi ang hirap ng sweldo dito. So, yun. We just want to know lang, how did they come up with 18%?
Oh, yeah.
Diba?
Siguro here, let's talk more about the possibility of higher hospitalization costs.
Dr. Jose Rene de Grano of PHAPI is now joining us on the line. Good morning, Doc, and thanks for joining us here on Brunch. Doc, are you there? Can you hear us? Let's try that again. Doc Rene? Nako, wala. Sige, we'll check the line
We're
again.
troubleshooting the line lang.
Oo, kasi maganda na malaman din natin mula mismo, 'di ba, sa PHAPI.
Saan galing
kung saan galing yung 18%.
possible, possible 18%.
Oo, tsaka ano ba yung mga equipment na kailangan magtaas, 'di ba, dito sa increase na ito. And which kailan yung kumbaga ma-implement?
Siyempre, this comes at the heels of rising, supposedly sa SSS din, natataas.
Oo.
So lahat kasi magtataas this year, so we have to talk about that.
Okay. So let's hear it again from Dr. Jose Rene de Grano of PHAPI, joining us today via phone. Doc?
Yes
Good
po.
morning.
Yes,
Ayun.
good morning. Good morning, Mama Angela and Sir Angelo.
Ayun.
Opo.
Thanks for joining us today, Doc. Siyempre pa, unang tanong po natin, paano po ba natin, how did we come up? The 18, how did we come up with the possible 18% increase?
Actually, hindi po sa amin yan talaga nanggaling. WTW po yun. Ang parang pinipredict nila na magkakaroon ng increase sa mga healthcare services. Ano? But sa tingin po namin, posibleng maging totoo yun. Ano? It will be very possible kasi actually for the past few months talagang there was already an increase. Meron na po talagang nag-increase ng pakonti-konti doon sa mga cost ng hospitalization natin, especially po sa private hospitals. Po.
Yes, Doc, while we know kasi may mga specific items na tataas din sa medical field, kaya kailangan mag-increase ang mga hospitals in case, no? Anong mga specifics na nakikita niya, Doc, na possible na tumaas na kailangan kasi mag-adjust ng mga private hospitals?
Tama po yun. Actually, sometimes hindi po namin kasi controlled yung factors. Ano? Tataas halimbawa ang gamot, tataas yung mga supplies. And then of course, yung nga pong palagay ko, nabanggit nyo na yung mga equipment na aming na-import before, parang magkakaroon ng difference na malaki because of the payment. Ano? Kung halimbawa, kinuha namin ito in dollars, halimbawa before, maybe around 4 years ago, 48 pa lang is to $1.
Yes.
No? Ngayon po, 58 na plus, is to $1. Kung kayo nagbabayad po in dollar denominations, laki pong effect niyan doon sa ating mga hospitals kung ganun po ang ginawa nila. Opo.
Okay. So, in one of your interviews po, you have noted here that there will be no increase if the government will be able to control the prices. So, how can the government address this po ba?
Halimbawa po, let's say, i-fix nila ang presyo ng mga gamot, no? At saka yung even the supplies. Katulad din po sa, sa dialysis. Alam niyo po, ang dialysis, halos wala nang binabayaran ang ating mga pasyente, no? Kasi cover na supposedly ng PhilHealth. But then, we don't know, mamaya yung mga supplies na ginagamit sa dialysis, baka bigla magtaas yan. Then, ibibigay ng, halimbawa ng PhilHealth, magkukulang na naman, di ba? So if the government can control the prices of these healthcare commodities, mamaintain po natin yung presyo, no? Siguro ang magiging problem na lang natin is of course yung competitive mga payroll ng ating mga staff with the other countries and the other hospitals. Opo.
Doc, can you confirm po ba na PhilHealth, since you mentioned PhilHealth na rin po, let's talk about it na rin, taking this opportunity. Can you confirm po that PhilHealth owes the hospitals at around 4 billion pesos?
More or less yan po, it's not really a fixed amount. Before po, umabot pa yan ng 8 to 10 billion. So, then, nagkaroon naman po ng konting negotiation, etc., reconciliation, and then they were able to pay some of the hospitals. But then, nung tinatanong namin ng aming mga members, marami pa rin po na talagang hindi pa rin nababayaran, especially po nung time ng pandemic. 2020, 2021, 2022. Opo.
Alam po yung comment nyo, Doc, na sabi rin ng mga taga-PhilHealth, sana kasi minsan yung mga partner hospitals, mga private hospitals, minsan matagal bago sila mag-bill So, kung minsan 2-3 months bago sila singilin, di 3 months delayed na daw kaagad.
Usually po, meron po yung talagang meron po yung maximum days po, no, up to 60 to 100, 6 days actually, dapat ma-submit ka agad yan. And then after that, meron another 60 days po dapat PhilHealth magbayad. Ang problema, kami po, dapat sumunod sa 60 days. Beyond that, may penalty or talagang hindi na nila babayaran. Ano po? Pero sila, kahit beyond 60 days, at hindi sila nagbabayad, wala naman silang penalty ganun.
Oh, ganun pala yun. Pero meron po ba kayong is there a way na meron kayong pwedeng iset na deadline for PhilHealth to, to pay the other, yung balance
Yung backlog nila.
Backlog since pandemic?
Yes po, dapat po ganun. No? Actually, sabi nga nung iba, sa laki na ng amount na yun, dapat nga may cost of money na yan. Dapat may interest na yan sa tagal na yun. Ano? More than 2 years, more than 3 years na yung pagkakautang na yan. Dapat nga may interest na yan. Pero siyempre, sasabihin nila, government, hindi daw sila nagbabayad ng mga interest no those things. Ano? Sabi ko naman po, if ever talagang they find anything wrong with the files or with the claims that we have filed with them, then sabihin sa amin, eto mali, ganyan.
Yeah.
And then this is fraudulent, so kasuhan nila kung fraudulent yung cases na yun, yung claims na yon. And then ang problema po, wala sila sinasabing ganun, basta naka-hold lang po yung payment.
Okay.
At sabi nila, denied ang claims, ganun.
Pero Doc, do we have data on, let's say, mga small hospitals na nagsara po because due to the inability of PhilHealth to pay?
Ang alam ko lang po nung time na yun is around 2 or 3 hospitals. But then, ang ginawa po ng iba kasing hospitals, not necessarily na talagang i-tackle niya yung problem na yun. Ang ginawa po nila, yung iba nangutang, yung iba nag-downsize. Pinaliit nila. Sa ganun po, yung expenses nila or operational expenses nila, hindi ganun kalaki. So, more or less, naituloy po nila ang kanilang operations even with the meager income na nakukuha po nila.
I'd like to, Doc, I'd like to learn more about ano yung magiging impact in case na magtaas po nga tuloy-tuloy itong mga presyo ng mga gamot, mga medical supplies and equipments, and at the same time, magkakaroon po ng kabagalan ng PhilHealth magbayad ng mga backlog. Ano magiging epekto po nito sa mga medium to small hospitals across the country?
Malaki pong epekto yan, especially sa small hospitals. Kasi ito pong ating small hospitals, hindi yan katulad ng mga bigger hospitals na maraming services na na-offer. Doon po, halimbawa, katulad ng mga MRI, CT scan, mga iba't ibang diagnostic modalities na nakukuha na, yung income. Itong maliliit na hospital, very basic po yan. Pagka hindi po sila nabayaran ng, halimbawa, ng PhilHealth doon sa kanilang mga claims, ang apektado na po dyan, halimbawa, yung kanilang pambayad sa sweldo ng kanilang mga empleyado. To the point na minsan talaga nung time na hindi sila nagbabayad, talagang halos magsara na sila. And then actually, ginawa na lang nila, nag-downsize sila, sinabihan nila na force leave muna kayo ng ganito, ganyan. Just so na may pagpatuloy nila ang kanilang operations. At pagka nagkatuloy pong gano'n, na mahirapan tayong ganyan, ay baka po maraming hospitals ang mag-close. Opo.
Okay. Paano naman po yung in-expand po ng PhilHealth na packages nila? Yung impact po nito sa mga private hospitals?
Maganda po yun, we accept that. Sinabi naman po namin sa kanila na almost, halimbawa, kayo po cesarean section at cesarean care, dati 19,000 plus. Ngayon, ng mga 37,500 na, almost double nung dati nilang binabayad. So, in a way, maganda po yun kasi mas lower ang out of pocket ng ating mga pasyente. Po. The problem is, sana po, panindigan naman ng PhilHealth, nababayaran nila kami kasi these are services rendered and services advanced already by the private hospitals. Pag hindi po nabayaran kaagad yun, napakalaki pong impact niya sa operational expenses ng ating mga private hospitals. Opo.
Okay, Doc, lastly na lang po, kailan po ba natin nakikita yung target na possible increase nitong 18% sa mga hospitals?
Kung hindi nagawa ng paraan.
Kung hindi po nagawa ng paraan.
Hopefully hindi matuloy yun po. But then yung epekto po ng increase ng PhilHealth PhilHealth, ng pagbabayad nila will be felt siguro mga around 3 to 4 months, makikita natin magbabayad ba sila o hindi. And then kaya sabi ko po baka by second quarter makikita natin whether ganun ang epekto nitong nito kung kasi ang the most na we can do is to increase the cost of hospitalization para lang namin mabawi yung po. Siguro second quarter. Opo.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa amin this morning, PHAPI President Dr. Jose Rene Legrano. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you po,
Doc.
Ma'am Angela and Sir Angelo. Thank you.
Alam mo, tama si Doc niyan eh. Meron yan kaakibat na interest cost dapat eh. Kasi kunyari, yung service na inavail ko today, kung hindi binayaran ng PhilHealth kaagad, 9 months from now, yung ibabayad lang ng PhilHealth, nag-accrue na ng interest because siyempre, out of pocket ng hospital yan eh. Di ba? Utang yan sa mga supplier. Kailangan nabayaran ng hospital ng supplier. Pwede tayo magbayad ng PhilHealth.
Renta ng...
Pwede tayo nagbayad ng PhilHealth, lugi na ang hospital. So, I understand yung if hindi magbayad, a number of factors, kung magtuloy-tuloy ang rising costs ng supplies at hindi magbayad ang PhilHealth, saan namin kukunin tong pera? Di magtaas kami ng 18%.
Wala, kasi hindi naman sila subsidized ng gobyerno.
Hindi sila subsidized, oo.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Settling in at our sixth spot, the Department of Agriculture, or DA, will implement a maximum suggested retail price, or MSRP, on imported rice. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. said the MSRP for imported rice will be set at 58 pesos per kilo, effective January 20. The amount was determined following consultations between the DA importers, retailers, and rice industry stakeholders. The MSRP will be implemented initially in Metro Manila and will undergo monthly reviews considering global rice prices.
Yung MSRP nga pala is for imported rice only, no?
Sir, yung linawin ko lang yung...
Tsaka doon clarification lang, yung MSRP is only for regular, well-milled, or ordinary type na imported rice. Yung Japanese rice, yung malagkit, tsaka black rice, hindi kasama sa MSRP yun.
Nako, sinasabi ng ibang mga rice advocacy group, pag daw maximum suggested retail price, mahirap daw yun. Okay lang daw sana kung suggested retail. Pag maximum na ganyan, baka daw magsara yung mga small retailers kasi hindi kakayanin yung pagbaba ng ganun. Depende yun sa pagkuha nila
Kasi
ng supply.
this is a way, they're trying to, tawag ng iba dito, ng ibang economists, falsely stimulate a downward market trend para the prices will be manipulated into going down. Because tama ka, yung mga small retailers will have no choice but to compete because yung unnaturally, naglagay ka ng cap sa presyo eh. Diba? So, hindi nagiging natural, organic ang
possible
decrease.
magsara sila kung tatagal daw tong
Pero ang
yung
question
maximum
is, kala ko ba
suggested
ayaw
retail
na
price.
ng DA na lagyan ng label ang mga kanin? But now, yung bigas.
Wala pa naman hindi pa naman
ngayon, may specific varieties na may specific prices.
Kasi di ba binabaan nga nila, tinaasan nila yung tariff ng imported rice, pero ganun pa din, di ba, to control daw the price, pero still ganun pa rin. I think it's really the supply
Pero ang nagiging
supply here din sa atin.
Nagiging nakikita mo sa government, nagiging basis ng to control prices or to stimulate prices is always nakikita ko through importations.
Yes.
Diba? Which is it's not organic at all. It's falsely...
Because siguro sabihin nila dahil mahirap dahil kakagaling lang natin sa mga calamities and siguro mga few months from now daw sa next harvest naman makakabawi. Pero parang hindi naman...
But kasi this kind of method is only effective for present day economy What happens sa next admin, yung long term? Diba? Hindi na control yung prices, baka tuloy-tuloy ang mag-spiral out of control.
Wala nang pag-asa yung 20 pesos.
I know, that's impossible.
Let's continue with our countdown.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang Pilipino.
Coming in at our top 5, a gun ban is now in effect across the country as the election period begins. Here's the report.
The Philippine National Police has put up checkpoints across the country. This comes as the election period began on Sunday. The launching of checkpoints was led by PNP Chief Romel Marbil and COMELEC Chairman George Garcia. At least 1,400 checkpoints will be put in place. The PNP said they have already apprehended violators of gun ban.
Apat na po ang nahuli po natin from Region BARM sa 12 and dun sa ating and 6 and Region 3 po. Kanina sir, may nakita po ako mahaba dito sa Region 6. Mahaba, tas puro mga pistol po nahuli po natin.
The police will only do visual inspection, but they may do inspection if there's an apparent security concern.
May makikita po na kahina-hinala yung mga pulis po natin, let's say nakita po may baril po doon o kaya merong nakagapos doon, may nakapiring doon o may mga struggle po.
The PNP plans to install CCTV cameras at checkpoints for transparency.
May mga nagtatanong, pwede po bang kuhanan ng mga nakasakay sa sasakyan yung habang po sila ini-inspeksyon? Wala naman pong problema po yun kung sa tingin nila ay mas magiging ligtas po sila sa pagdaan po doon.
Some motorists don't see any problem with checkpoints.
We understand na merong konting inconvenience.
Those found in violation of the gun ban may be imprisoned for up to 6 years. For News 5, Dave Abuel, We Are One News.
Okay, so let's just clarify. Election period pa lang yung nagsimula yesterday.
That means start of the control of COMELEC.
Yes, so hindi pa to yung election campaign. Kasi yung campaign naman will start for national elections ng February 11 and for local, March 28.
Mind you ha, yung gun ban also covers, it actually covers those who have permits to carry. For the meantime, cancel the permits nyo during the election
Unless may
period.
special
Unless may
permit
special
kayo.
permit ka na you have a reason, justifiable cause to carry your gun.
Kasi ngayon ang exempted is government officials with special permit.
Oh, with special permit. But yung sinasabi nila, yung mga those may permit to carry, permit to license to...
Bawal din yung may mga pa-security ka na mga
Hindi,
PNP
if you need
personnel.
security daw,
You have to ask.
You have to ask to the proper channels with justification kung bakit kailangan mo ng security.
Yes.
Oo.
Tapos of course, yun nga, linawin lang din natin kapag may mga certain checkpoints sa certain areas here sa atin and other parts of our country, dapat yung nila, yung checkpoint area would be malinaw yung
Well-lit.
ilaw.
May CCTV daw yan.
Kitang-kita yung signage na for
And
inspection.
Yung policemen,
naka-uniform.
yun, kasi may mga in the past na natatakot yung mga kababayan na
Hindi
ayaw
pwedeng mga
mag-stop
nakatsinelas
kasi
na
hindi naka-uniform. Yun, kailangan well-lit, may sign, yung mission order.
Yes.
Pwede nyo hanapin yung mission order if
Yes.
you want.
Tapos for us naman, when we pass through the inspections,
Slow down, stop, roll down your windows, turn on the lights sa loob ng car.
bawal maghalughug sila doon sa...
Oo, ikaw ang
Unless may search warrant.
ikaw mag-open ng glove compartment mo. Pag request ng police officer. Oh.
Bawal nilang hawakan yung
Wala
titingin
lamang
lang
kayong
sila.
maling ginagawa, hindi maggalangan na lang tayo, di ba? I mean, they're doing their jobs. Let's do ours as citizens.
Totoo.
At the end of the day, if you want a very peaceful elections, let's cooperate.
And again, yung mga gusto magbaklas ng mga election paraphernalia. Wala tayong magagawa kasi nga, sabi nila, ngayon, kung nakaka-istorbo siya sa daan, pwede yun, di ba? Pero ngayon kasi, according nga dun sa ruling, di ba, nag-gesa natin dito, ang mga taga-COMELEC every now and then and saying na there's a ruling from the Supreme Court noong 2009 na wala tayong premature campaigning. So, unless nag-start ang campaign period, hindi pa considered official candidates itong mga kumakandidato na ito.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
sige, let's continue with our countdown.
On our fourth spot, the Philippines, United States, and Japan have pledged to strengthen ties in areas of economy, maritime security, and technology. This was during the trilateral phone call between President Bongbong Marcos, U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba on Monday morning. The call was originally scheduled for January 12. Malacanang said the postponement was due to the ongoing wildfires in Los Angeles. The leaders of the U.S., Japan, and the Philippines met in a historic trilateral meeting in Washington last year and discussed various issues, including security, cooperation, infrastructure development, and regional economic resilience. This is an effort to try to balance power in Asia because based sa US, parang masyado na malakas ang China. So they're trying to develop a countermeasure na to have a balance in the region. In terms of, sinasabi nila, economy, di ba? Stability.
And security. Pero this is actually continuation ng kanilang April na trilateral summit And that's the first time na nagkaharap-harap silang tatlo, ang Japan, US, at saka ang Pilipinas. And I think this was moved, to tonight. And ngayon ba ng umaga, tas gabi sa ngayong umaga, gabi sa Amerika. They moved it kasi may mga ginagawa pa ang US government, especially doon sa nangyayaring wildfire dyan. Kaya medyo na-move yung nila.
And why Japan? Well, Japan is one of the first original economic superpowers sa mundo,
Yeah.
coming from Asia. And if there's a country that's possibly can counteract yung
Yeah.
economy ng China, it's that of Japan.
Yeah.
no?
So kaya nga sabi nila definitely right after yung tawag doon, yung call, yung kanilang conference
trilateral call.
Trilateral conference call, whatever you call it. Pagkatapos doon, tsaka sila mag-i-issue ng statement kung ano yung mga napag-usapan. So right now, yung mga pinag-uusapan natin ngayon ay yung mga feeling natin na pag-uusapan nila. Most probably.
Ang dami ng mga videos na naglabasan, di ba?
Ano?
Paano daw kulang interpreter? So paano daw maiintindihan nila yung PM ng Japan? Tapos
Ay,
paano
oo
daw
nga.
kung nakatulog si President Biden sa phone call at may dead air? paano?
Hindi, andun na naman yung mga nila eh. Mga counterparts
mga memes
nila.
sa Facebook
Oo.
na naglalabasan, di ba? Kasi may very cute ang meme ng tatlong leader na sa phone. Tapos tulog daw si Biden, yung isa nagja-Japanese. Oo.
This is going to be the last of his mga engagements,
Yes, oo.
because by January
20,
2021, yung inauguration.
PBBM will now
incoming
be
president.
dealing with President Trump, who's also a friend of the Marcos family. So I don't think it's going to be a problem moving forward to establish yung relationship natin.
All right, let's continue with our countdown. Moving over now to our top 3 Chinese vessels, including their monster ship, have yet to leave to the West Philippine Sea. That's despite being given radio warnings by the Philippine Coast Guard. PCG spokesperson for WPS, J. Tariela, said it is important to let Beijing know that their deployment is illegal. He added that if the international community will remain passive on the issue, China will be more aggressive in infiltrating the exclusive economic zones of other countries.
Dapat may dapat may monster ship na rin ng Pinas.
Ano yung mga monster ship mo?
Ay, malaki-laki yung Sierra Madre kaso hindi na umaandar.
Hindi pa kumaandar yun eh. Yun ang dapat magawa, di ba? Yun ang
Yan ang
problema nga lang eh. Yung, kunyari, meron tayong Rory mission
Oo.
para sa mga supply ng mga naka-station dun sa BRP Sierra Madre na nahaharang.
Kaya
na
kita
pakayang
mo
mga
yung
building materials.
sincerity ng China in saying gusto nila ng bilateral meeting with the Philippines. Eh, nagpaparada kayo ng mga monster ship. Paano tayo mag-negotiate equal lang
Posturing yan eh. No?
Diba, na wala kaming leverage, wala kaming monster ship, kayo nandun. Habang nag-uusap tayo, nakaparada monster ship nyo sa dagat natin. Gusto mo equal dialogue? That's not equal dialogue.
And this is not the first time na nagparada ang monster ship. Although, di ba nagkaroon mga radio challenges, umalis sila, pero ngayon meron nga mga pumalit na mas maliit. Di ba?
Yeah.
Na naka-anchor doon.
Meron naman tayong trilateral call.
Tingnan natin kung anong pag-uusapan.
May balance yan. Oo.
Alright.
Right, don't go away. We're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Monday to all the brunchies. Peace rally ongoing at Quirino Grandstand.
May balikan natin yan, but let's continue with our countdown.
Okay, hindi. Sabihin ko lang, walang pasok. Pasay, Manila, and Quezon City. Pakicheck po ang website ng MMDA para sa mga rerouting nyo.
Okay. Alright.
Let's go. Straight on to our second spot. A survey shows that the rising prices of commodities remain the most urgent concern of Filipinos. Here's the report.
Monica is juggling 3 jobs to survive. She works at a parking space, sells on the sidewalk, and does manicures.
Talagang sobrang hirap, ma'am, kasi lalo na yung hanap buhay namin nasa lansangan. Pero kahit papano naman, ma'am, sa tingin ko para sa sarili ko, mapalad pa rin po kami kasi kahit papano nakakakain kami 3 beses sa isang araw.
Eden, meanwhile, gets her family's budget from a sari-sari store. But she said this is not enough, as some of her children still go to school.
Sa umaga, almusal, tanghali, hapunan. Po yung 500, kulang na kulang. Yung naitatabi ko na yun, nasa tindahan or sa tricycle, nailalabas po rin po yung lahat.
According to the latest survey of the social weather stations, 63% of Filipinos consider their families poor. That's higher than the 59% figure in the previous survey, and the highest self-rated poverty rate in 21 years. SWS said this is due to several factors, including high inflation rate.
We know that it is most reactive to the high inflation rate. Marami ding ibang contributors na baka nga pinaghalong suliranin tungkol sa mataas na presyo ng mga bilihin, tapos sinabayan pa ng sunod-sunod na natural calamities.
Meanwhile, another survey shows that inflation is still an urgent concern. Octa said 56% of Filipinos identified inflation as the most urgent concern. However, the number went down from 66% in the August 2024 survey. Access to affordable food, increasing wages, and reducing poverty followed.
Now, for our top story today, the peace rally of the INC. The Iglesia Ni Cristo is set to hold its nationwide peace rally today, January 13, to show support for President Bongbong Marcos' stance against impeaching Vice President Sara Duterte. For more updates, we have mobile journalist Marymon Reyes live from Carino Grandstand. Hi, Marymon. Tell us what's happening there.
Good morning, Angela and Angela. So far ngayon, naabot na doon sa may National Museum of the Philippines yung dami o yung daloy ng mga tao kasama ng Iglesia Ni Cristo para sa kanilang National Rally for Peace. Ina-expect na by 4 o'clock p.m. mangyayari na yung pinaka-event proper o program proper nila. Pero habang on the duration of time na hinihintay bago magsimula ito, kanina mayroong mga nagpe-perform, may ilang mga nagsasalita at inaasahan na sa mga susunod na oras pa ay patuloy pa rin ng isasagawa yung mga programa. So, nabanggit din dito na over 4,000 na AFP at saka ang BFP para masiguro nga ang safety and security sa loob at labas ng Quirino Grandstand. Pagdating naman sa klase, suspendido pa rin sa lahat sa Maynila at saka sa Pasay. Pagdating naman sa mga politiko ay hinihikayat ni COMELEC Chairman George Garcia na huwag gamitin ng mga politiko ang programa ng araw na ito, ang rally, para sa kanilang pangangampanya. Pero para naman sa mga gusto raw na pumunta dito, maging guest o bumisita, lahat naman daw ay welcome.
Yes, Marymon, of course, I'd like to get a feel of the actual event sa ground, no? Kasi as we all know, this is supposed to be a pro-BBM rally but an anti-impeachment one. So medyong conflicting yon. Based sa nakikita mo, placards o sentiment ng mga sinisigaw, ano yung mga naririnig mo sa mga rallyista?
Yes, actually ang sinasabi nila dito para raw sa progreso, kapayapaan at ikapapayapa ng bansa ang pinakapabo ang pakay nila dito sa National Rally for Peace nila. May ilan din naman na nagsasabi na bahagi nga raw dito ay yung pagbibigay o paglalaan ng oras sa iba pa raw ng mga problema o issues sa bansa. Pero kung tatandaan nga natin, inanunsyo rin ng INC noong Desyembre last year na isasagawa nila itong National Rally for Peace bilang pagsuporta rin doon sa stand o posisyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos tungkol sa pagtutol sa impeachment cases laban kay VP Sara Duterte. Pero so far, mapayapa pa yung sitwasyon dito. Ina-expect na around 4 p.m. mamayang hapon ay mas daragsa pa ang mga tao para sa pinaka-program proper ng rally.
Marymon, may nakikita ka bang mga buses dyan? Kasi may mga service buses daw provide for the INC brothers natin.
Yes, marami sila actually, even mga e-tricycle, mga shuttle, private vans. Lahat ito nakahilera, umabot na doon mismo pa Menjola. So mula dito sa Quirino Grandstand, Finance Road hanggang doon sa Ayala Boulevard, saka sa Ayala Bridge, nakahilera na yung mga bus, mga shuttle at iba pang mga services na sakay ng mga INC. May ilan pa na mga habol dito, tina-expect pa nga na habang lumilipas ang mga oras ay mas darami pa ang dadalo dito. Kasi nung pumunta rin tayo dito kanina nga mag-aalas 7, alas 8 ng umaga, marami pa tayong nakakasabay na bus. At yung ilan dito ay may hinihintay pa raw na mga sasabay papunta. Kasi marami ring mga kalsada ang sarado dito sa kapaligid ng Quirino Grandstand. Katigbak and South Drive, sarado. Independence Road, Rojas Boulevard, sarado. Bonifacio Drive, Burgos Avenue, Maria Orosa Street, Finance Road at Calao Avenue.
Oo. Marymon, ito ba ay solely exclusive sa INC members o may mga nakausap ka dyan na ibang mga grupo din ng tao, ibang mga tao, kababayan natin dyan na gustong sumali din sa kanilang rally pero hindi sila miyembro? Possible ba
Sakto,
yun?
Angela, ka-announce lang kanina nung pinaka-host o MC dito doon sa pinaka-standee small stage sa Quirino Grandstand na kahit hindi raw INC ay lahat welcome daw dito. Basta na pare-pareho daw ang pakay na para sa kapayapaan na pakay ng National Rally for Peace ng Iglesia ni Cristo. So INC man daw hindi, lahat welcome dito.
Pero as of now, may nakausap ka ba na nagpunta dyan na hindi miyembro ng INC?
So far, Angela, wala pa. Pero ang sigurado dito ay lahat naman daw ay welcome. Kung meron man daw inimbita ang mga INC na hindi INC, basta raw makikisama sila, makikisabay doon sa pinakapakay ng National Rally for Peace, lahat naman daw welcome din.
Meron ba tayong alam na kilalang personalidad na pupunta dyan at kasama sa mismong aktibidad ng gagawin nila dyan for their peace rally?
Ngayon, wala pa tayong nakikita na prominent faces, be it mga influencers, even mga politiko. So far, wala pa. Pero ang nasabi dito nung mga nakausap natin mula sa admin, kung magkakaroon man daw ng mga bisita, lahat welcome naman. Pero pinapaalala nga ng COMELEC na huwag gamitin ang pagkakataon na ito, ang programa na ito, para sa kanilang pangangampanya.
Oo. So, 4 o'clock sabi mo, magsisimula yung activity officially. Pero mga anong oras nila planong mag-pack up naman?
Ina-expect nila 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. yung pinakatakbo ng program proper nila. Pero dahil sa dami pa ng tao dito, posible pang ma-extend ang oras ng kanilang event.
Alright, sige. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Mobile Journal, Marymon Reyes, live dyan sa Quirino Grandstand, kung saan nangyayari nga ngayon yung pagtitipon ng mga INC members para dun sa kanilang peace rally.
Si Marymon, ano yan reyna ng mga crowd coverage.
Oo, diba?
Sa Traslasyon,
Chill lang siya dyan
nandyan lang siya, chill. Ayan, so stay safe everyone sa peace
Nakita
rally
ko yung
natin.
picture ng yung top shot ng picture ng
Madami,
mga tao.
madami,
Marami-rami na siya. So as of 9 o'clock, 701,145.
Iba-ibang estimates kasi ang lalabas, but may isang estimate lumabas. One of the officials said they're expecting at least 1 million. Which is makes sense naman kasi malaking grupo naman
Yeah,
tong
I was asking also
iglesia.
kung may kilalang mga personalidad, not just for the politicos, kasi we all know naman ang iglesia, maraming miyembro na kilala yung mga personalidad, mga artista, diba? Iba mga broadcaster, iba
I
mga
think
influencers.
this is, since very controversial issue about impeachment, I think a lot of those who are in the limelight will try to avoid this and leave it to the people na lang
Lalo
to,
na mag-election
enjoy.
na kasi, no?
Oo, mag-election na. Kahit I think celebrity or influencer, iiwas na mabash siya kung may papanigan siya na side. Oo, very contentious kasi yung issue na ito. But, stay safe everyone.
Yeah, and then we have to remind the public also, ating mga kapatid, na take alternate routes kasi hanggang Ermita na nga ito
Yes,
Ermita,
oo.
medyo mahaba-haba na yung na-occupy nitong mga nagpi-peace rally na to dyan, ng mga miyembro ng INC. So, hanap na lang po tayo ng alternatibong route.
Ayun, sige. Thank you sa lahat ng mga nanood sa atin today, our brunchies, for joining us on a Monday, and that's how we kick off the week with a lot of stories.
Yes.
And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsan Castro, and he is Angelo Castro III. We're One News. Go!
All sides, all the time.
Perfect.